This podcast may contain views and opinions which are those of the hosts and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of any local agency, organization, union, employee, or company, including the podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Off the Clock Shop Talk, the union show that talks about union stuff.
That's all. That's kind of what we do here. We just talk about union stuff.
We talk about some other fun stuff too, but
yeah,
union stuff is the main focus for sure. What's going on, George? How are you today?
I'm all right.
Yeah, hanging in there.
Hanging in there. Just work's been crazy, especially because of the heat. Pretty insane. And it's finally started to cool down.
Finally starting to cool down a bit.
Yeah.
Those of you guys in Southern California know what we're talking about. We had a pretty bad heat wave. Fun stuff. How is Gary doing over there?
I'm doing good.
Yeah?
Welcome
You
back.
guys didn't notice? Gary's back.
Yeah,
Savas is here in spirit.
Yep.
Savas is here in spirit. He's always here in spirit.
But obviously Gary's back hanging out with us. So how was the heat wave for you guys? How I mean, in CVS, obviously where you work, is it an ambient temperature location, or how does that work? Temperature controlled?
It's pretty hot. At least in our facility, the new facility is temperature controlled.
Okay.
The one I work in is, it's pretty bad. It's a sauna.
Damn. Well,
They got big fans, though. They got them coming in, so they're just not installed. But the company
they
actually
didn't have them before?
No.
Fuck.
I know there was some new OSHA regulation that came out at the start of the year, so they started bringing in these fans. We got some pretty big ones that the company provided, but yeah, it's still pretty
toasty.
Still pretty toasty in there for sure. I know the modules have fans. They have automated ones that they just installed like maybe a year or two ago.
Okay.
But yeah, it's hot.
And I mean, I know it's definitely hot for, like George, UPS drivers, any, you union guys that work outside, totally get it. It's hot. But I will say that the warehouses during those times get just as hot, if not hotter.
Yeah.
And at night, they really don't cool off. All that concrete and stuff just sucks up all that heat.
Yeah.
And it just radiates that heat all night. So we've been in there during the night shift, and still pretty damn warm. It's cooling off outside, but it's still pretty freaking
So
warm.
hot in there that, it just seals in all that heat, and you're just like, fuck, it's a sauna in here.
Yeah. So shout out to all you guys dealing with all that. I know it's not just Southern California, but I mean, it was hot. It was a hot summer,
Yeah, it was
I know it's cooling off some places. California doesn't really cool off until November usually.
Yeah, it's gonna cool off a little bit, and then like every year, like there's like a small heat wave in October.
Yeah.
Of all fucking months,
Yep.
right? Just before like we, the winter season really kicks off, we'll get a small heat wave.
It's funny. I usually track it. Well, I used to track it by like when we could start fishing for trout in California. I swear. So I used to track it by that. And I will say in prior years, we used to be able to stop. And I'm talking about, 10, 15, 20 years ago. We used to be able to start fishing like in October, late October. Now it's definitely moved up a couple weeks. They usually don't start planning until November. So for trout, water temperature has to be like 70 degrees or lower.
Okay.
So if it's not dropping pretty low at night, the water doesn't cool off.
So
that's how we used to track it, but
so global warming is really affecting your fishing.
Well, fucking. So for those of you guys that know, Southern California trout fishing, at least in the OCLA IE area, is kind of dwindled just because of a bunch of lakes.
Yeah. Dried up or they
they're
emptied out.
Not closing. There was a bunch of insurance issues and lakes closed. We lost.
Well, it's always an insurance issue, right? When you got a bunch of drunk guys on like one of those little pontoons.
Yeah, that was Irvine. Irvine Lake. They got sued twice for people falling over and drowning. And they ended up losing their insurance, and that was like a whole.
So the real question is, the guy, did he spill his beer, or was he holding it up, drowning?
I don't know, but
that's why he couldn't
ruined
swim.
it for everybody. Sorry you're dead, guy, but you ruined trout
Sorry,
fishing
that was a
for
dark
Southern
joke.
No, it was a thing for a little while. But yeah, anyways, back to the heat. I will give somewhat of an update. So just got back from Phoenix, Arizona, where we had our Western region update from the IBT. Went over a bunch of stuff. Big points, definitely. Amazon, huge.
Yep.
We as a Teamsters organization, the IBT is pushing hard at Amazon.
Yeah.
Hard. We're going full force, and I'm sure to a giant company like that, it's not that disruptive yet, but it seems like we're getting there. It sounds like we got the
Starting to nip at their heels a little bit.
yeah, we got the joint employer decision from the NLRB finally, which is great. That's gonna stop them from basically calling all the drivers that they subcontract, quote unquote.
Yeah.
It's gonna make them like Amazon employees.
Yeah, they are fucking Amazon employees. They
Joint
have
employer.
the Amazon vest. They have the Amazon phone.
Trucks.
They get paid by Amazon.
Yep.
How is that not an Amazon employee?
Yeah. Amazon has last say in their dispatch, so that's huge. Gary, I know you've been working a lot on that campaign, right?
Yeah.
How's that going?
It's going. It's just a lot of people, they feed into the lies, Big corporations like that are always going to feed you misinformation and try to scare you. And I don't know. It's hard to get through people sometimes. It's hard. But as far as I know, there's some traction getting there. There's a lot of movement. Hopefully we can get them. That's a big thing. Those workers deserve the rights, and hearing stories, even sometimes seeing drivers out on the street, like you hear the stories, and it's just, why would you even want to work there? At this point, it's like, why would you even want to work there?
But I will say this, and I'll throw this out there for all the dummies out there that think that, why are we wasting our time on Amazon? Why are we spending so much resources trying to organize these group of people? But Amazon literally touches every industry. If you're in the medical field, in pharmaceuticals, in
Grocery.
Grocery, you're in logistics.
Yeah.
They touch
Big in logistics.
everything.
Yeah.
Even if you, not that, a lot of them are Teamsters or organized, but, in the computer industry and all that stuff, the
And all those
technology
are
sector.
all those are people. Those are
Yeah. They are touching your industry, and they are driving down wages. That is what they do.
Yeah.
So it's important that we take on this beast and we fight it, and we all should be united in doing so.
Yeah, we need to make sure that doesn't become the standard, right?
Yeah, definitely. Because they are driving down some industries, as far as wages and just service. I will say that as UPS I feel like as a company has chased the Amazon numbers and rightfully so. I get it. You got to kind of keep up with the Joneses, but it drove down service to really want to move from a service-based company, like where that was your niche. UPS is a little bit more expensive than everybody else.
Yeah.
But we're all about service, and not that we've totally gone away from that, but we've definitely. It's not as pushed. You see it when you're an employee, especially when you're driving. When I was trained, they were like, "You got to spend time with your customer. You got to get to know them. They need to know your face."
It's a little bit different
Say
than
hi.
that now.
Yeah, now they're like, "Get the shit, drop it off, get back to the truck." You know what I mean? That's
Yeah, they're like, wait, you were there for an extra 6 seconds. What were you doing?
What were you doing over there?
Fuck yourself.
So that's huge. That was one of the big takeaways from there for sure, along with a lot of others. But I will give a small update. We did get updated as far as UPS goes that the company is way, way, way behind on the air conditioners. So I know we got a lot of people asking, and if you were there in Laguna at my Teamster Tuesday, I let everybody know that the company is behind schedule.
Big surprise
on the ACs, and the IBT is definitely taking action. So
is that going to be like a national grievance that they have to file?
I don't really know the process. I think because there is the contract and an LOA and stuff, I think it might come into grievance form. but it might be handled legally as well too.
Okay.
So I'll let the IBT give the direction on that. I'm not going to speak too much on it, but those are two big updates coming out of the Western Region IBT update.
If they could just make a small tube so it funnels into the back, that would be a lifesaver.
You would
Because it's like, I don't need AC in the cab. I can take that because we have fans now in almost all the standard trucks. They have 2 fans, more contact on you. Sure, it's not the coldest of air, but airflow is kind of the circulation is what helps keep your temperature down. The problem is when you open that bulkhead door inside, it's just getting
stagnant air.
And it's just getting hit on all day. So if it's like, let's say it's 90 degrees outside, in the back it's like 115.
Yeah,
because it's like 20 degrees hotter.
So it's cooking packages.
It's cooking packages back
and
there.
we all see the posts on Facebook and Instagram of UPS drivers.
With the
temperature check in the back.
gauge. Yeah.
I've seen it up to 140.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's
fucking
crazy.
Yeah. I've seen it up there.
You're
Dude.
literally
That's
getting
fucking
into
crazy.
You're getting into a sauna.
That's a real sauna right there.
That's a real sauna. Just back
crazy,
there is
dude.
like, I'm just
Makes me feel better being in the warehouse.
back there just trying to drop a couple pounds.
No, dude,
Sweating
I've
it
been
out.
back there, and when you're already hot, like you literally will walk back there for 2 seconds and you'll feel yourself like starting to drip sweat. You're like, oh my gosh, it's so hot back here. Like, Orion, where do you put my package?
That's when you're mad at your loader. You're like, why can't you put this in sequential order? So I just grab it and leave.
For real, those days suck. Those days suck. But anyways, George, you got some other Teamster news for us?
I do have some. Okay. All right. So SCR Medical Transportation Teamsters, when strike, ratify their contracts. So more than 800 PACE and CPS transit paratransit drivers, secure first Teamsters contracts. This is in Chicago, Teamsters Local 727. They're medical transportation and a subsidiary of Beacon Mobility Corps. So they basically secured their first contract.
That's
I guess
awesome.
they just joined in. Let me find the exact date here. So they just organized in April this year.
Wow. They got a contract.
Yeah, and they were kind of forced into going on strike because they weren't moving on it. So they were forced to do it, and so the company's like, "Fuck, we got to get this ball rolling here."
Congratulations!
Congratulations!
To you guys. That's a huge step. Obviously, for those of you that know, Gary knows, organizing isn't the end all be all, right? I mean, we organize, we get a group going, and then they got to get a contract. Then it's the next step. You really don't have a lot until you have that contract.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there's not much you can do about that until you have the contract. So the next one I want to talk about here is Vice President Kamala Harris is to attend Teamsters rank and file presidential roundtable. So Harris is finally to meet with Teamsters, the Teamster leadership on September 16th in Washington, D.C. So
I mean, for those of you out there that we're not going to get too far into the politics.
Yeah, we don't want to
We definitely
we don't want to
deep
get
into
in the
that.
weeds
But
with that.
Yeah, for those of you that were upset that the Teamsters haven't endorsed anybody yet, Kamala had yet to sit down with the rank and file committee and discuss what she thinks or how she thinks labor looks like for the next 4 years, which is what we care about. Sean actually made a point to, in the Western Region update to say we are not going to support any politicians either side of the aisle that do not support us. That is the goal. So
Why would you support somebody who doesn't support you?
we're not going to give somebody a recommendation or whatever you want to call it.
Oh yeah.
We're not going to recommend anybody to the members if they haven't sat down and discussed how that the next 4 years looks for the Teamsters. Because that's what's most important. And kudos to Sean, whether you're upset about it or not. I think you really do need to look at it through the lens of it's not a political thing. It's a who's going to support the Teamsters thing.
100%.
That is what it is.
Yep.
And that's what should be most important to you when you're looking at it through the lens of union. That's what should be most important to you. It's not just somebody has a D or an R by their name, so we're going to support them.
Yeah.
It's, are you going to support union causes? Are you going to support the Teamsters?
Oh, 100%. That's what we want.
All right.
That's what we want. That's what we
So
want.
we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. All right. So Teamsters ratify a record agreement at Gate Gourmet to avert a major nationwide strike. So 5-year contract secures better wages, health care for 8,000 airline food service workers. So this is in Washington. So over 8,000 airline food service workers, including 3,700 Teamsters, have secured a 5-year agreement that addresses key demands for wages and health care, which is great. I mean, they need it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's a tough industry. They're working all the time. A lot of times, those guys are not. They don't even. I don't know how the food industry works there. I mean, I'm sure it's difficult work, flying back and forth. You know, like that's awesome. You know that they secured that.
And I mean, I don't know if you can speak much on it, Gary. I know you do a lot of volunteer organizing, but there was an organizing update, just kind of giving the numbers of what's been organized this past year. As far as numbers, the Teamsters are definitely growing. We're growing. They have a goal to get to 2 million, Teamsters again, because we were there prior, and I think we were sitting at 1.3, 1.4 million or something like that.
Around there.
So their goal is to get us back to 2 million. If you're a Teamster, you should be out there. Every Teamster is an organizer. That's important to know.
Yep.
You have, your little circle or your little, group of people that you touch every day, whether you run into the Amazon employees, maybe they're delivering to your house, give them a bottle of water and tell them, hey, have you ever thought about becoming union or all that stuff? Give them all the benefits. Usually that's, where I would go. I would say, look, money-wise, you guys aren't cutting it. A lot of them don't know how much, union industries make or union employees within an industry makes. So it's good to kind of share that information. You don't have to tell them exactly what you're making, but, rough figures like, hey, you could be making 14% more and have health care and a pension. Those things are huge.
And you just can't get fired.
Yeah, and then they can't just fire
You'll
you
have
for
steps.
no reason.
You'll
Yeah.
have steps.
Yeah.
Which is a big deal.
Yeah.
They can't just walk in one day like, you know what? I don't like the shirt you're wearing.
But it's one of those things where, like,
I don't like your face.
You don't need it until you need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you might not even think about what a union contract offers you as far as protections and all that stuff. You might that could be secondary to the monetary value and all that stuff. So when you really think about when you need it, it's like health insurance when you're young. I know a lot of the younger UPS employees that come in, and I'm sure CVS and a lot of industries.
Yeah.
They're like, well, we have health care. What's
It's like, I don't want that, dude. Give me the money.
I don't even go to the
Give me the
doctors.
money.
Maybe we should give up health care, for more money. Bad idea. Because it's going to come one day where you're going to need to go to the doctor, and you're going to see how much that shit costs. And
I think about like $47,000. What?
for real. That shit is
It's no joke.
no joke. And
no
then
fucking joke.
also the pension. I've heard people too talk about, well, we don't really want pension. You're young, you don't think about it, but this is money that is being put away for you. That's
Yeah.
gonna carry you through your golden years.
That's the thing is like, how much money are you saving as a part-time employee at UPS? Let's say like, even if you were working 2 jobs, you're saving that one paycheck from UPS for the rest of your life. Like the pension's it's a good thing. It's guaranteed money once it's in there.
Yeah. 10 something an hour for
Isn't part-time, I think part-time's $11, right? 11 for the pension.
Oh, must be nice on those numbers.
It's good. It's a good deal, so the pension's fucking big,
up to 2,080 hours.
That's a good like talking point. Like, hey man, how much do you have for retirement? Like for people who aren't union, right? What does your retirement look like?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I didn't even think of when I first started back in 2012. I didn't really.
No,
I knew about a pension, but I didn't really think about it. Now it's like, dude, I miss a day of work. I'm like, there goes 8 hours of pension hours.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Damn, I'm getting old.
Yeah, none of us
Very
do. That's
true.
the thing is
I'm
like
getting old.
we need to educate the young so that way they understand that and they can keep spreading it to the newcomers that come in.
Yeah.
You know, knowledge is very important. So
Knowledge is power, as
knowledge
they
is
say.
power.
Hey guys, thanks for meeting
Enough
with me.
chit chat. What's your pitch, kid? Come on. Time is money. Money is power. Power is pizza. Pizza is knowledge. Let's go.
Okay.
Or what does
Definitely
Savas say? Invest in yourself.
Invest in yourself, right, Savas?
Oh,
Oh, that's right.
yeah, he's not here. Maybe we get him on FaceTime. Put him up here.
He probably won't
should
answer.
call
won't
him right
answer.
now, dude. You
He
should
wouldn't
call him.
answer.
He wouldn't answer.
I should have just stopped by his house on
Here,
my
let's
way
see.
over.
We'll
I should
we'll
have stopped
give it
by.
a try.
I
You
should have
should've-
knocked on his door and been like, "Hey, I'm going to the podcast."
You should,
Let's
since you
carpool."
live so close to him, you should fuck with him. Just like stand outside his window with the boombox.
Here we go.
He's not gonna answer.
He's not going to answer. I think he's at his son's football game.
Oh, he's definitely not going to answer that.
He's definitely not gonna answer. Or he's doing squats. Oh,
He answered.
Oh shit, he answered.
I'm watching the game right now.
The football game?
Yes, sir.
You're live on the podcast right now.
Oh,
Oh.
He said, "Oh." We just wanted to know what you thought about what we were talking about.
well, I wasn't.
So what are your thoughts on that, Savas?
hey, yes or no? Yes or no?
And your nemesis Gary's here.
Well, that's fine. He can have the chair.
Oh, all of a sudden, Savas
all of
isn't
a
even into fighting
Oh,
anymore.
shit.
I don't know. I gained some muscle.
Did he not do any sit-ups this morning, or?
No, he didn't do his sit-ups this morning.
in his squats?
Oh, he's gonna get taxed to have that.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh, it's
All
like
right.
that.
Hey, he's gonna tax your paycheck, Gary. He wants one of those zeros.
all right. You can have one of those zeros.
One of the infinite zeros.
Well, we just called to say hi, Savas. Just see how you were doing.
I appreciate you guys.
All right. Well, we'll talk to you later. I hung up on him. I don't know what was going on.
I don't
over
know.
there.
I don't know what's happening there.
Fuck that guy. Fuck Savas.
Fuck Savas.
Anything else you want to go over?
No, I think that's it from the newsroom. All that stuff will be in the description below. Teamster newsroom. Just check out the link for all the Teamster updates.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, I mean, short show today, but we definitely appreciate you guys tuning in every week.
Take two.
George appreciates it. We're retaking.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, fuck. George is being director from the chair. Anyways, but we appreciate you guys tuning in every week. Please follow us on Instagram, OCST952. Like, share, subscribe on YouTube, please.
Yeah. Email us at ocst.000@gmail.com with all your questions, comments, concerns. I know I've been saying this for quite a while now. I'm gonna get the box in, the drop box. So
Still not in?
It's not in yet. I'm sorry.
You said
I
last
know,
week
I know,
it's
I
gonna
know,
be
I
in.
know,
And
I
then
And
know.
I think the week before that you said that. And
Yeah,
the
it's
week
been
before that-
a while. It's been a while. But
Help us out, guys. Help us out.
Yeah, we're all self-funded, so I'm gonna make it work.
All right. Gary, closing words.
The usual. Fuck Savas.
You heard it here, guys. Fuck Savas.
Yeah,
Fuck
fuck
him.
Savas.
We'll see you guys next week.
Next week.